As e-commerce marketers, we love to focus on how we can increase the conversion rate of our most important product pages. But a lot of times we neglect another more important metric, which is AOV, or average order value. In this video, I'll show how you can increase your AOV on your storefront, drive more revenue for your brand, and ultimately maybe change your business model for your brand. Let's jump into the video. All right, folks, let's start with the basics, shall we? Average order value. What is it? Well, it's pretty simple. Average order value, or AOV, is revenue generated divided by your numbers of orders. It's pretty simple. So that's it. Revenue generated divided by number of orders. This is what your typical customer can be expected to spend when they transact with you. Increasing the AOV can change the dynamics of your business model. This is a game changer if your AOV is, let's say, for example, $50, and you can increase that to $75. Now you just dramatically changed your business model and the dynamics of your entire business. That impacts how much you can spend on advertising and all sorts of other good things, how quickly you can grow your business. It's one of the most powerful levers that you have when you want to grow revenue. It's that simple, right? So it's something that should be invested in, obviously, how to growing your AOV. It's powerful stuff, but it begs the question, how can marketers impact the AOV for their brands directly? What can marketers do, right? What can we do? How can we change this? Well, let's dive into some techniques and we'll see if you can generate some ideas for you, maybe that you can take away and implement on your own store. All right, product recommendations. Love product recommendations. They're one of the most powerful tools that merchants have to encourage more shopping once the customer is at the point of purchase. Anytime you see a pairs well with section on a fashion site, or if you see a you might also like widget on an electronics store, you're actually seeing product recommendations in action. Product recommendations can be personalized, or they simply can just be set to fit within the context of the product page itself. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use product recommendations. You can go really fancy with it and make them personalized. You can go pretty minimalist with it and just have it fit the context of wherever it's sitting on the page. There's a lot of things you can do, but you should be using them. So let's dive into what those are all about and how you can leverage it. All right, so what are the different types of product recommendations? Okay, so some of the most popular formats would be complementary products, alternatives, bestsellers, featured products. The key with well-done product recommendations is that they fit the context of the current product the customer is viewing. It should be something that the shopper would be interested in exploring because either it's complementary or it pairs well with whatever they're doing. The goal is to bring more awareness to the shopper of these other items and to encourage more add to carts for a final checkout. Okay, so you want to encourage customers to not only buy the product they're viewing, but to also buy these other products that are similar and thereby increasing that average order value. Okay. So let's look at some examples from brands that are embracing product recommendations. So these are just a couple of examples. Just about any large e-commerce retailer that you'll find will be using some version of a product recommendations in their store. If you're watching this video, there's odds are that you already are embracing this with your own storefronts, but I would challenge you to think deeper. How can you do better? How can you make it work better for the customer such that they'll want to actually add more products to their cart? So even if you're already doing this, don't just skip this and think you're done. I would challenge you to how you can do better, okay? So let's dive into a couple examples. Beard brand. Love Beard brand. And, this is a real simple version from them. Beard brand specializes in men's grooming products. And here you can see shoppers checking out the beard comb are inevitably going to be interested in some of the other beard grooming products that are available. And a beard oil is a great complement to the comb. So on the product page for the comb, we've got, product recommendations here for the beard oil. So it's a great complement. So this would be a complementary product ad. This helps shoppers to expand their cart while offering a pleasant custom feel to the shopping experience. So it's like a helpful sales associate. If you were to imagine you were going to your local mall, if there's still one in your town, and you go into a store and you're looking at certain products and there's a helpful sales associate that said, hey, by the way, here's some other products that go really well with what you're interested in. This is essentially what we're doing. It's a digital version of that. Okay. So Beard Brands does a great job at this. All right. Another really cool brand called The Ridge. Ridge sells a lot of cool products. mostly famous and very well known for their rich wallet, and they've expanded their product categories dramatically since then. And here we've got an example from them where they're using a product recommendations to show off alternative designs for the same wallet, as well as product bundles that actually include the currently viewed product. This is a really powerful way to drive potential customers toward exploring more items and increasing their cart size. And we'll get into product bundles in a little bit here in a few minutes. But here is a great example of blending alternative products via, say, just a different, so for example, different wallets that are very similar but different designs, different features, different materials possibly, and then also showing bundles that include the product. So this is sort of a blend of two different approaches, as you might also like. So we've got a little bit of product bundling, a little bit of alternative. And this is just, again, a great way to encourage an increase of that AOV. And so the Ridge is doing a great job here. So product recommendations, these are just a few examples. There's many, many more. We could sit here and I could spend hours breaking down all the different ways that brands would use product recommendations. These are just two examples. Okay, so now we'll dive into another technique here. Cart upselling. All right, upselling is a really powerful way to influence average order value, and this would happen within the shopping cart itself. Again, context is really important here. The product being offered has to be very closely related to the one that was added to the cart. And sometimes it can be discounted to create a benefit to the shopper. Remember, the key with cart upsells is to be relevant, timely, and unobtrusive. You want to minimize the friction that you introduce within the cart so you don't negatively impact your conversion rates. Remember these key points: relevant, timely, unobtrusive. This is what you need to have if you're going to do a cart upsell. Minimize the friction that you introduce within the cart so you don't negatively impact that conversion rate. I'll say this 10 more times. Actually, I won't, but you get my point. Make sure you minimize the friction you're introducing, because you are now manipulating a very key part of the conversion funnel. And anytime you do that, you need to be very careful, okay? Cart upsells can be very powerful, but again, make sure you're using them correctly. This is about bringing benefits to your customers, not about spamming them and forcing them into something they don't want to do. All right. Subscription/bulk purchase offers. Okay. Look, subscriptions, they can work well with certain type of products, okay? Some products are meant to be enjoyed over and over again. Easy examples include food, beverage, supplement products. One sale is great, but getting a customer to sign up for a subscription is much more powerful, especially when it comes to increasing your AOV. Not only that, increasing your lifetime value, LTV of the customer. All these things can be in play. And subscriptions can not only can they increase the AOV in the moment, but look, you're locking in repeat revenue, and that is the holy grail for all businesses, but in particular e-commerce brands. Subscription offers should be with intervals that make sense for the usage. You want to make sure that you're offering something that makes sense for the customer, and there should be a financial incentive for the shopper to actually sign up for the subscription, okay, rather than just do one-off purchases. If they're going to commit to you, you should be also offering some kind of value for them in exchange for that, which should be in the form of obviously a lower price. And then you want to consider offering a multi-month supply for every transaction. And in other words, buy in bulk. So for example, they can buy a 3-month supply every 3 months. There's like a new purchase there. And this can help, again, increase not only the average order value in the moment. So, hey, customer, would have bought maybe one, say 30-day supply of a supplement. But now instead of just one 30-day supply, they're now buying a 90-day supply on a recurring every 90 days, a new say 3-month supply comes in the mail. And not only did you increase your LTV dramatically of that customer potentially, but you also increase the average order value, because now you've got your customers maybe buying multiple months up front, as an example. Okay. So this is really important. And then this is really good for brands, again, that fit in the category where this would make sense. Food, beverage, supplements, those sorts of things. Product bundles. Product bundles are, we covered very briefly a couple minutes ago with Ridge, but this is where, very simply, you can bind products that pair well together. And as the shopper can either purchase a bundle directly or bundle themselves, essentially what they're doing is they're spending more money with their brand, which is what we're trying to encourage, that behavior. These should be done in very particular ways. And a lot of times you see brands embrace this around the holidays when they create a gift bundle, right? And this is like, hey, this is a gift that would go well with, someone on your gift list. Here's a bundle. Buy these 4 or 5 products for this person, and now you've taken care of your shopping for that person. Not only are you increasing your AOV, but you're increasing the satisfaction of your customer. Hey, you're helping them check that box for the person they're trying to give a gift to. And now there's just really easy for them to add that one bundle to their cart. Now they're done. You're saving them time. They don't have to go through, millions of products on your catalog, come just the right ones. So it's a great benefit for not only the shopper, but for the brand. And this is something you can consider around the holidays. So these are really, really important concept here. Product bundles is great. Figure out which of your products go well together. Test this out by creating bundles. And bundles can be displayed in a lot of different ways on your site, on certain collection pages or within product pages themselves. But again, figure out which of your products go great together. Create a bundle. Offer an incentive for buying the bundle, right? Give the shopper a few bucks off. Give them some discount for buying all these items at once. You'll notice every one of these ideas is a win-win for both you and your shopper. That's what we're trying to do here. Trying to create wins for everybody. Product bundles does a great job for that. And let's go to loyalty and rewards now. So this is really simple. Here's an example for you. Spend $75, get $25 for free. A lot of brands do this, both e-commerce and maybe even some legacy retail brands. It's very common from a loyalty perspective. Loyalty and rewards, very simple. Spend more, get more. This straightforward benefit for the customer. And it goes hand in hand with increasing the lifetime value, but it can also increase AOV. So for example, if the reward can be redeemed within that same shopping session by adding more items to the cart and getting to that threshold where they now get another, say, $25 for free or however much that it might be, you're encouraging more add to carts, you're encouraging more spending within a session. And that is an interesting way to also maybe impact AOV while also encouraging a lifetime value increase. So you notice a lot of the ideas, increasing the lifetime value to customer and the average order value sort of go hand in hand. It makes sense. The more a customer is spending with you, you're sort of always directly impacting the lifetime value. And so this is another one of those ideas where you have a sort of multiple benefits going on there for you as the brand and also for the shopper. And free shipping thresholds, which is actually a really similar idea. This is great for encouraging shoppers to add more products to their cart to hit that free shipping number. Customers that are close to the threshold will be highly incentivized to add more products to take advantage of free shipping. If the shipping costs them $20, but they're $15 away from getting the free shipping, of course, why wouldn't they increase their cart size and get more items to get that free shipping? So it can create a great incentive for increasing AOV. Just remember, be clear on what the threshold is and make sure the numbers work for your brand before you introduce it. You don't want to just increase AOV, but crush your margins because you're giving free shipping maybe for products that are very expensive for you to offer shipping for. So this can be a win-win shopper for both brand and customer, like I said, with all these ideas. But just make sure that this is still a win for you as the brand because some items maybe free shipping is not economically feasible, but if it is, this is a great thing to consider. All right, folks, I hope you learned just a little bit more about how to increase the average order value for your brand. Leave us a like, comment, subscribe. We're coming out with new content all the time that you're going to love. So you want to follow us and make sure you stay tuned for that. Also, check out the description. We're going to throw some links down in there for our products and what we sell here at Shogun. And let me know in the comments below. What are you planning on implementing first for your storefront? Love to hear from you. Until next time, happy selling.